This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
And for the first time, we have a grade 10, which is in high school, in upper secondary school, essentially. And a lot has changed in terms of that. But we want to find out exactly what the situation is on the ground. A lot has been said, a lot has not been done, a lot has been done. But we're going to look at progress. And to help us steer in this conversation, while we do have our audience of grade 10 teachers and parents this morning, steering the conversation for us is Boaz Waruku, who is a policy advisor with the Elimu Bora Working Group. And he's here this morning. Good morning, Boaz.
Good morning, Du. Good morning to teachers and parents. I thought there was a student there. Let me salute that.
Salute the student.
That is a personal focus on me.
All right.
Thank you so much.
We'll go into it this morning. But thanks for being here. Before we get to here, because this is what we're going to do today, is that because often we hear a lot of policy directive, and that we fail to understand the actual situation, and that we can sit behind the microphone and talk about, oh, this is what we think is the case, that we will hear what is the case. And perhaps this is what ministry or whomever stakeholders need to fix it will hear from experience. And if it is great, guess what? Then it is great. And we'll talk about that as well. We want you to interpret our proverb first, because this might give some insight. Dennis is giving us proverbs this week from the Central African Republic.
Thank you.
Yes, Central African Republic, a country that is rich in diamond, gold, and uranium, right?
Yes.
So you think about uranium, many people really would just brush it. But remember, the war that you experienced right now is simply because uranium is one of the key components in the making of nuclear power, and nuclear warheads. But let's go to the country, eh? The proverb says, the best time to urinate is when it's raining.
Whoa.
The best time to urinate is when it's raining. What do you think the people of CR are trying to tell us? Okay.
It depends on who really conceptualize that. For the children, it is when they're asleep. And for the adults, and that is being really funny, because you're not supposed to be urinating in the entire, pool of water. You'd be imagining what happens in the swimming pools and such. But basically, I think this proverb is telling us that when you are trying to deal with the situation, I think they are not trying to camouflage it, that water would now camouflage the urine. But probably because water will wash it off. I want to look at it from that angle.
Indeed.
So that if there's something that is going to be, uncomfortable or seen strangely, that water will actually clean it off, will wash it off. So for me, that would be the interpretation. And Dennis.
Yes.
When you have a student here, he's the one who should have given us the best interpretation.
He actually has an opportunity to. How would you interpret it?
Can you? Yeah,
would you interpret that proverb for us?
Did you hear
the proverb?
The proverb. What's the name? Maybe
tell us your first name. We can have the mic to him.
Yes,
if that's okay. And then tell us your name.
Yes.
And then, did you hear the proverb? We'd love to hear what you think about that.
You can repeat it for him.
So the proverb says, the best time to urinate is when it's raining. How would you interpret it?
You can stand so we can see you.
Just stand.
Just stand so we can see you.
Yes. Just be strong. You're okay.
My name is Moses Njiru. About that proverb, I can say that it says that it is good to urinate when it is raining.
Yeah.
First of all, it is very funny because you can urinate anytime you want, but like children, we like urinating when it is raining. We queue like boys and start urinating. We see which of the boys will urinate far. So that's the game we used to play when we were young. Yes.
And now that you are old,
Dennis, you got your answer.
Now that we are old, we mature. So you cannot just go anywhere and start urinating.
ukikojoa hapa umbwa ni kali itakuuma utashikwa. Thank you very much, sir. That's remember, no interpretation is wrong. Everybody, it's all in how you look at it and how you interpret it. Asanteni sana.
Dennis, I saw how you were smiling when he said they would parade and compete. That is a sport.
How far
so that's
should.
Okay. Thank
you. We'll go into a lot of experiences this morning. Let's get an overview from you. How did we start off the year when first time grade 9s made selections into pathways last year in the second term? And then we came into 2026 and there was a lot of speculation in terms of what was going to happen. Unfortunately, in some quarters, there was a lot of confusion, and we can understand that they're teething problems with a new establishment of a curriculum. And there was, so many things happening at the same time. Would you get placement? Which school do you choose? Which one is a pathway? Which pathway has particular clusters? I mean, all sorts of things were going on. Areas, which school do I choose based on this? Give your overview of a go at the first time that this was ever done. How would you say that the system fared?
Thank you, Ndu. 10 years into CBC, the first thing that we shouldn't have been witnessing was a case where there was total confusion in terms of even the school selection and placements. Why do I say that? Because when you are overhauling a system like we were doing, you must have a comprehensive plan from the start. And indeed, as you move ahead, you pre-test, you actually incubate certain aspects of the system. We would have been looking at a situation where we had some reports telling us that when you're doing this transition, be aware of this, because we had incubated that. That is the piloting that normally happens. But because we were, we are pre-testing, we are piloting as we are rolling out, we should then have ensured that we had then the sufficient human resource, teachers themselves, the administrators, the education support officers. We have the CSOs, within the space of Nairobi and other areas. CSOs refer to civil society organizations. But in this case, I'm talking about the curriculum support officers. These are the persons who are supposed to be interfacing and intervening in case of any difficult situations. And so a lot of work, including causing awareness among the parents and the learners themselves, so that they know what to expect next. So that what we witnessed in 2023 does not recur in 2026. But as you put it, being a pioneer class like now the grade 10, they had to be pushed through that kind of a process, because when we are piloting as we roll out, then even the problems that you witness within that system, they'll feel it, but they'll feel it as they pass and go forward. So in this case, we would have been witnessing, I think we would have expected to see a case where at least they call it the all government approach, the machinery put in place, just first to ensure everybody understands what this is about. Grade 10 transition, we took a lot more time. In fact, as we speak now, a lot more time was taken just to ensure these children are in school, and even for them to settle and start the kind of learning. You would also be informed, and I think they are all here. You'll also be informed that the preparations to start the teaching or delivering the curriculum, for instance, this grade 10 landed in what we used to call the high schools or secondary schools, though they were also coming from junior secondary schools.
Junior secondary schools,
but they landed in this senior school, which is also the high school. When they landed there, they found teachers. I know if they're from the grade 10 teachers, meaning they were in high school. These teachers have been teaching 844 subjects. But these teachers now are being asked to teach CBC learning areas, including power dynamics, isn't it? Aviation, blue economy, what we are talking about, blue economy, all those things they are supposed to be teaching, including media technology they're supposed to be teaching. And so you need to prepare them and enable them to handle those learning areas very well. Even the mathematics they have been teaching. Right now, the approach, the pedagogy of delivery of that maths has completely changed, isn't it? So they needed all this to be done. And fortunately, I don't know whether it's because of constant of resources, where we are saying, no, we may not have the time even to incubate, do that pilot and see what are the things which are not working. Let us just go ahead, we learn on the way, you know. I like it to those who like practicing driving on the main highways. At times it can be very dangerous, you know. So this is what we found ourselves doing. But where we are, because I normally start by giving hope to this grade 10. This grade 10 should not lose hope. Where we are, I know there must be everything being done to ensure that they are in class and they're studying. Where they are.
Boss,
I am among those who are very uncomfortable when I see some of them are still at home. We must first ensure we have swept all of them into grade 10.
Boss, you've talked about the pilot phase.
Yes.
And now that we see the grade 10s are the ones who suffer the most because they're implementing it as they go, right?
Yes.
And if it was a new system of education that is coming in where you're talking about even mathematics, its own pedagogy is different.
Yes.
We talk about media and technology, you talk about aviation.
Yes.
All these, the 844 teachers who never used to manage these are the ones who've been given the responsibility of implementing it, right?
Yes.
So one then asks the question, how critical was the pilot to be undertaken before its implementation, and what would that have informed in terms of implementing grade 10?
Thank you for your question, Dennis. Any system change in education, but even elsewhere, even other organizations and other bodies, any change must be preempted first by incubation. That is a piloting. In our case, as 844, as we are transitioning from 844 to this, remember we started with the first 2 years. The minister, I think the minister at that time, that was Matiang'i, who was saying we're actually doing a nationwide piloting. That is a very difficult thing, because I think you are academics. Piloting means you just take a small sample, you control it somewhere, so that you'll be able to know what works and what's not working. When you said you are rolling it out countrywide, you are literally not piloting. That's why I say they infused piloting within the rollout. And that is where then the problem began. Because it is always mandatory the world over. I think the research I've done and the people I've worked with globally in countries where education has worked, they do not joke around with education. Even changing just the content of a subject. It is never just changed like that. In fact, I'll cite the case of Finland. How do they do even changing just the content of one single subject? That when there's a holiday, the teachers are brought in. They are the ones who spearhead the reflection. The learners themselves come in, and then the other components of the society. Those are the ones you call stakeholders. So that reflection is a 360-degree kind of reflection. From there, they'll be saying, okay, at the next time, we are not rolling this out. We'll be implementing in school X, Y, Z. When that happens, and indeed now it is rolled out, they'll be able to tell you that, oh, we thought this can be delivered in this manner. We realized then we needed to tweak it a little bit. That is how it is done.
Okay.
When you do not create that window, it means you'll just be playing ball along, and you hit your toes and you say, okay, come on, who has a bandage? Let's continue. And that is not very good.
Okay.
That subjects our learners to a lot of anguish, and it also subjects our teachers. You can imagine a teacher who is now being told, can you go and help these learners understand this learning area where he's not conversant?
It's interesting because we want to hear from parents and teachers as well this morning to get an understanding. Because we often talk on the other side of experience, while some of us are parents and also seeing some of these things, it would be then good to be able to hear. So I'd like us to go around at this point. That January 2026 was the point at which this thing was actually put to a test to see if it was actually going to work. So we want to get, as the microphone goes round, we will start, and to hear whether parent, teacher, in what area, and let us know what the experience has been so far, and then we can ask some specific questions from there.
Anyone who has a microphone, just go. You could just stand?
You can stand so we can see you.
Just so I can see you.
Oh. Yeah, good morning, parents, teachers, and the crew.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Eric Ambuche. I'm the founder of Slums Outreach Program. It's a CBO, which does much on education and climate action. So, as somebody who deals much with the community, especially in the informal, I did experience a lot of challenges from parents. If you look at my phone, you will think that I'm a chief there. So I know, as Boaz said, we just dived into this thing without much of doing piloting. And that's why we are facing much of this problem. I did take time to raise those concerns, and I said, I appeared on some of the media stations, and I said, it was on 1 o'clock news, that many students are still stuck here in Mukuru. They have not joined grade 10.
When was this?
It was on a Thursday, I think.
Which month? This year?
When did the president say that children should go to school without uniform or school fees?
It's still January.
It still was in January,
January.
26,
I had said it on the same day, it was on a Thursday. And I appeared on 1 o'clock because I had seen the challenges that were happening on ground. And principles, it's like there was a communication that everybody must be having all the school fees that covers the whole year. So or the whole term, and they have been instructed that it must be a certain amount. And you see with from C1 to C4, C1 is a average 53,000. That is without a uniform. Then there is shopping. Then there's the stationery. So most of the parents were not in a position to raise that. I think I have more information, but maybe when
okay. Let's hear from some other teachers and parents as well in terms of what we faced.
As the teachers and parents are coming in, Eric Kambuchi has worked a lot in the informal settlements of Nairobi.
Yeah,
we've worked with him before on certain research. But one thing which now they're doing, which should be copied by everybody, is they're walking door to door to ensure there's no student who
at home.
Mukuru Kwanjenga is the one among the people who are leading that. So kudos to that. I think you need to encourage it. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. My name is Francis Wanyonyi Maina. I'm a long-time teacher and a parent, a grade 10 parent as of today as well.
Thank you.
For me, the grade 10 came with many challenges. It's easier to propose a program or a curriculum, but the challenges begin to come up when the rubber meets the road. That's when the practicability of it begins. When the children were selecting schools, it was easier being said than being done. So when it was time for them to go to the schools where they had been allocated, that's when they realized, we don't have enough school fees. Some were to go to national schools, the C1 schools. The charges were so high.
63,000 minimum.
You can imagine. So children like those from the Mukuru slums and some other rural areas found it quite difficult. Those are the ones who got stuck at home. Now, here they were, unable to get school fees, but even worse, the school uniform was more expensive
than the fees. So let me just hold you there. So you make a selection, because we saw these selections being made in grade 9, right? Second term, grade 9. You make a selection of the pathway, right? Yes. Before the school. You make a pathway selection, and thereafter, you make a school selection. So what we are saying now is that you would have made a pathway selection, and this would have been the school that offered the pathway.
Yes.
But then you find out down the line that there's a problem because you're not able to, number one, afford the fees or even the uniform payment. So that became an issue. So then what happens?
Now, selecting a school is just one thing. Now, the problem comes when you want to begin to prepare to go there, and you have the admission letter, and you are just realizing that, this is too much for me. I think what should have happened is the government should be aware of the children and the parents that we have. So that by the time even this child is being selected to go to a certain school, the government, the local government, the ward administrators or all the other leaders are aware of the situation that is likely to obtain. Yes. So that, you don't have to get the children to school, and that's when they want to begin to apply for bursaries or what have you. The government should be ready with data to know that in this particular place, this number of children will require support. This number of children may not require support. So that when it's time to go to school, they all go to school.
They all go to school.
Yes.
All right. I'd like to stick
Teacher Wanyonyi, Wanyonyi,
yes, please.
I think is a proponent of the free and compulsory basic education. That is what our Constitution says. That's what our Basic Education Act says. And he's very right. And remember, when he's talking of selection, you should not wait until the last minute. The indicators or pointers were there. You remember, some 3,600 schools were not selected. If you can remember that period.
It's true.
Why were they not selected? Because one, the parents and the teachers had known that in those schools, we don't think we'll get the kind of quality education that we want.
Okay.
So those aspects, the details of it, but also...
I want to take a break at this point. I think those things are going to come in.
Okay,
I'd like to hear from some more of our parents and teachers when we come back from this short break.
Thank you so
we'll
much.
do that and we'll continue. Our Spice Baraza this morning is around issues education, but it is specifically on grade 10 admission and selection of pathways and selection of schools. We're going to come and hear from a lot more so that we can get an understanding of what exactly happened and how you dealt with the situation and how we are dealing with the situation this morning. We'll take a break at 24 minutes to 9. Don't go away. It continues after this.
This is the Situation Room, the only way today.
We'd like to hear from. Just tell us what your name is and what it is that you do, and tell us about some of the things that you've experienced so far, or if all of the hullabaloo is for nothing. All right, let's go to some others here.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Patrick Mukasa. I'm a grade 10 parent and a PHA.
Okay.
I wanted to say one thing. When they are doing this parroting, we had a lot of challenges because one thing, most of them, they don't understand the transition from grade 9 to grade 10. Because
who doesn't understand? The students?
The students.
Okay.
Themselves. Because even the pathways, they don't understand. Because one thing I remember very well, I was called by one of the parents and told me that, Chair, we don't understand. Our learners will just admit concerning about the challenges that they are passing through. One thing, these people, they don't understand about the STEM pathways. The second, they don't understand about the social and the heart and sport. Because you may meet that one of the learners, they want the sport. And another one, they want the STEM. And they're all their friends. Now they are going just in discussing and asking themselves, now if I go about the STEM, and my friend is on the heart and the sport, what will I understand and what will I gain at the end of the day? So they have a lot of the challenges, and even on themselves, they have a problem because even the parents themselves, they don't understand those STEMs, the pathways, they don't understand at all.
Okay.
Because when they did this, the parroting. They did not even consult the other organizations. Because when you do the trials, you don't do the trials as the whole. We just come on the ground and ask the parent and the teachers what they're coming and what they are going through. Like one of my friends also calls me last time before they do the selection of the schools, and ask me, my learner, that is my student now, is having a problem in the mathematics, but on the other side, and even English and Kiswahili and even biology, by that time. Now, what will I do on that? I ask and I consult her, and I told her, go direct to the head teacher, the HOI, consult, and even your teachers. Make use of your teachers to understand and to make sure that you understand what about your learners want, because these people, they have a lot of stress and pressure. We might make that today you want this, tomorrow it change.
Okay, let's hear from some others as well. We'll go over to you, ma'am.
Morning.
Yes, good morning.
My name is Josh Ondeo, and I will speak about the pathways and their selections. I think as a parent for a student in grade 10, we are having kids who don't understand what they are doing. And even we parents, we don't know what our kids are doing. Because I think when the council barazas were being held during the change of the syllabus and the system, it was during the junior school where these kids were supposed to be exposed to the new setup, so that when they are getting to grade 10, they will know exactly what they want. But we are having kids at grade 10 who don't know what the subject combination that's selecting, what career they're going to advance into.
Okay, that's interesting. Can we take your example? What subject did your child select? What pathway, rather, did your child select? And then what strain did they now pick? I'm going to use strain because I don't know how else. What selection under that did they choose, and what made sense to you?
She chose STEM, but for our previous selections, she was taking the subject combination was agriculture, computer, and business studies.
Okay.
But after going through with her, then I told her, if you're doing STEM means you have to do science. So then I had to sit her down, and then she had to select chemistry, biology, and now an option, business studies. So most of these grade 10 kids, they chose subjects which are easier for them to do, to understand. But you look at their combinations, the career advancement, the subject clusters will not add up. And I think this mess started from junior secondary. That guidance was never there. And I think the earlier plan, as it was designed, was changed somewhere. Because I think these kids, because when they come for midterm, you go through their books, it's somehow now they're starting to be taught what is biology, what is chemistry. Yet you are telling a kid to choose a pathway, either STEM or social science or art. Yet this kid has not gone through any STEM subject, any applied. Because right now, if you ask a grade 10 kid, what is pure science? What is the difference between pure science and applied science?
They don't know.
They don't know.
Okay.
Because even we parents, I can't guide my kid and tell her, you're choosing pure science because it will lead you to this path. Choose applied science because it will lead you to this path. And that's why you see all this confusion coming in.
Okay.
We parents, because we are under the 844 system, we are selecting the schools for our kids using the old method that we went through. But here it's the government which has changed the system. No books, no guidance for the parents, no guidance for the teachers.
Okay.
Teachers are receiving half-baked kids who don't know what they are going to do or what they want.
From your knowledge and
Because there are
understanding,
kids who are going to grade 10 who had chosen STEM, but when they have the conversation with the teachers call you and they tell you, no, your kid has applied for this, but I don't think what she wants to study belongs to this pathway. Can we change it? And because even you, a parent, you don't understand what it means, just accept. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take some more of these here. To you, Mum.
Okay, morning too.
Good morning.
Yes, my name is Agnes. I came from Mukuru kwa Njenga. So sisi ndio wazazi wa grade 10. But tumepitia changamoto by the way. Since January hadi wa leo bado tunapitia changamoto ya grade 10, imekuwa ngumu. Sababu hata sisi watoto wetu ndio wameingia kwa hiyo wameingia kwa hiyo masomo ya CBC.
Okay.
Kuanzia grade 7. So paka wa leo hata kuingia grade 7 ilikuwa problem. Kuingia grade 7, kuingia grade 10 bado imekuwa ni ngumu. Sababu hiyo masomo hata kama wanasema kutakuwa na mabadiliko, lakini imekuwa ngumu. Hasa kama sisi wazazi ambao hata sometimes una mapato mzuri, unapata uko na watoto. Wengine wanafaa waingie shule, wengine wanafaa waingie nini, lakini sasa unapata ukipeleka mtoto shule grade 10 unaambiwa kwamba ukilia school fees ya first term. Sasa ukijaribu kumuelezea, ukijaribu kuelezea president amesema watoto waingie shule, anakuambia ndio utafute hiyo president umpeleke shule yenye amesema hiyo peleka watoto bure. So kama sisi wazazi ya Swam Mukuru kwa Njenga tumekuwa na problem, tumekuwa na hard time ya watoto kuingia shule na bata wajari cover vizuri.
It is based on so changamoto ni kuhusiana na karo.
Changamoto ni kuhusiana na karo na uniform. So unaona hivi sasa president anasema watoto waingie shule hata without uniform, but ukipeleka mtoto anataka uniform kuanzia kichwa paka chini. Then amekuwa cleared school fees first term. Wewe umelipa yote ndio mtoto apate nini? Hasa kama sisi, kama mimi upande wangu mtoto wangu aliitwa shule na kaa Njenga, but aliitwa sofa
wapi?
Kwa Mali kunaitwa Wajaluoni huko Migori.
Day school.
Boarding school, but sofa ni mbali.
Na until grade 9 alikuwa anasoma day school.
Still grade 9 bado ni day school.
Wapi?
Alikuwa anasoma mali kunaitwa EF.
Karibu na
Putu Mukuru kwa Njenga Slaps Rube.
Karibu na
okay, karibu na kwako, si ndio? Okay,
yeah.
Sasa high school, sasa grade 10 aliitwa Migori County.
Aliitwa Migori. School inaitwa Nyabwayo Girls.
Na sasa yako huko?
Sijampeleka huko, si ku afford kumpeleka huko.
Nimeelewa. Okay.
And wakati mtoto alikuwa anaenda shule, let me just ask ya, kama mzazi ulikuwa umeridhika that amepata masomo vizuri, that hata kama anaenda grade 10 they are ready for grade 10?
Ako ready grade 10 but hata hiyo shule nilimpeleka hakuridhika nayo, but ni vile tunaendelea kumwangelesha aendelee tu kusoma hapo, in case Mungu akisaidia tupate pesa tamtransfer shule yenye atakaye. Roho yake ilikuwa anataka ingie boarding.
Aingie boarding.
Okay. Vile nimemsikia unasema mtoto wako alipewa nafasi Moi Girls Nyabohanse.
Kabwayo Girls kwa sehemu za Migori.
Sorry, okay.
Kabwayo Girls ni boarding.
Okay, kwa sababu hiyo ilikuwa ni C1 school. Nilikuwa nataka kuangalia vile mtoto mwenye alipewa nafasi kwa C1 mwishowe hakupata nafasi na akaingia kwa
alikuwa C3.
Okay, asante.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear from some other parents this morning and teachers as well.
Okay, good morning.
You could stand so that I see.
See from behind here.
You could just stand. Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Andon Dolo. I'm a parent. Parent who is having challenges than other parent. More so when it comes to
just raise your mic a little bit, sir.
When it comes to the cost of the education today, I feel it's a bit higher. The school fees was a challenge. Actually, I had to borrow some money to support my child to go to a C1 school. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Just speak a little bit louder, sir. Yeah.
So my daughter is at a C1 school, of which I was there. They asked for all the amount. I did not add all of it. It was a challenge to me. I had to ask for my neighbors to support me. I also went through to apply scholarship like KCB, Elimu, which did not go through. Actually, my child was in an alphabet school, and they were working with the public schools. And when you look at Mukuru, we have only one school, Kwanjenga Primary School. So my daughter was in one of the alphabet schools, and she was supported by Dream Girls, which is under Up Worldwide. And for today, it is not working because of the regulations from the president of USA. You can understand now those NGOs are not working. So now to take her to that school was a challenge, and she wanted to be in that school actually.
Okay. Did you understand what a C1 school was? Did you, when you were making this selection, did you know what it was? No, didn't know, but we know now it's a C1 school. That's all.
No, during our time, even going to a day school, you could prove yourself. But to convince this kid that this school will have all the resources and all the materials, she'll tell you, no, I'll go, and no, I will not be willing to go to a C1, C4 or C3 school because there are no teachers, there are no resource personnel, there are no materials. So I think I can be in a better position if I get a chance in C1 school, and of which we, as a parent, it's a challenge in terms of the fee which is paid there.
Okay.
And also there is also an extra money which is paid through the class teacher.
Yes.
Remendio and also a motivation.
How much was this coming to total? Now you were thinking, and compared to what you used to pay before, how much were you looking at now that you had to remove in January?
Wow. At junior, she was paying only 3,000.
Okay.
At now, she has to pay first term 26,777 plus uniform plus those other.
So this 26,777 was apart from the uniform?
That is fee.
That is just the fees.
Yeah, that's fee.
Uniform was coming to how much?
21 something.
21,000 and something.
Yes.
Then this remedial and
motivation.
Motivation and all these other things. How much money were we looking at here?
Wow.
Huh?
It's a lot of money.
3,000.
About 3,000 on top of that. So if we're looking at 26,000 plus 21,000, that's 47 or so. So we're looking about 50 plus thousand shillings.
Plus shopping.
Plus shopping, apart from the shopping that they have to go.
That's just
with.
entry at the point of entry.
Just to get in January.
Yeah.
Compare that to 3,000 shillings that you used to pay before. We're looking at a jump of about 48,000 bob, right? Okay. And this is the reality across board. For a lot of folks, it would be a very big difference.
True.
Okay. We're going to come back to you. We'd like to hear from some others as well in terms of what that was. Thank you very much, sir.
Good morning.
Please stand if you don't mind, sir. We can see you.
Oh, my name is Wilberforce Ojambo. I'm a teacher and also a parent. But my focus in this discussion today is more on getting the learners being in a school or in a class.
Yeah.
Where I also come from Kuru Kwanjenga, and as a teacher, it's very disturbing. I've been having interaction with parents, and sometimes you get the parents are coming to you like they want you to advise them on what to do because of the place where their students have been placed.
Yeah.
A parent was used to maybe taking their kid to a nearby school because of the proximity and also their income. And now they are asking that they have been placed here. And according to the government, the kid has to report to that particular school. And so we get that there are a lot of students who are still at home right now as we are speaking because of the inability of a parent to take the kid to the school where they have been placed, because they were placed there based on their talents or interest or how they performed in grade 9, and also the chance that was there in the facilities. And I've been just thinking as a teacher, when you meet a parent who has not taken the kid to school and they're coming to you, and there is little you can do to help this parent, I think the government has to swallow their pride, I'm sorry to say so, and engage more so with the public-private partnership to create room for maybe other schools in private sector, so that these kids who have not been placed in a place where parents can take the kids, for them to be incorporated, for them to go in school and learn. And some other challenges also that I know that are there. I talk to other teachers in some other places, is that a teacher has been given a mandate to teach a certain subject and they are not adequately prepared. I know I've been doing retooling here and there, but not all teachers are well prepared to handle some other subjects. For example, in senior school, a teacher who did English literature, and maybe you are tasked to assist because you've got inadequate teachers in that school.
Yeah.
You know, you are learning, at the same time you have to dispense this knowledge. It is a very big challenge. I think the government just has to do better, do increased funding to make sure that the teachers are more equipped, boost their morale. And also there's another challenge whereby there's a lot of heavy workload on teachers. You realize that 844 was more of a teacher-centered learning, but CBC is student-centered learning. And now the teachers, when you look at them, they are like demoralized because of the workload. You have to do a lot, you are learning, at the same time you have to make sure that you help the student.
Indeed.
So I think the teachers need to be motivated.
Okay. I'd like to take another break now because we're at the top of the hour. We're going to come back because we're hearing a lot of things here. There's lack of motivation. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of money that is required. There's a lack of understanding. You know, we've heard that we don't even know what we're selecting. The children don't know what they're doing. We'll hear from more of us as we come. This is our Spice of Embaraza on education, specifically for grade 10s. Leading this discussion this morning is Boaz Oroko. But then apart from that, our parents and teachers of grade 10 students this morning, we seem to be having some problems. Let's hope that by 10 o'clock we have ways in which we will get to solutions. We'll talk more when we come back. Good morning, 9 a.m.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Know that when you are educating a child, you are trying to educate a child holistically.
Yeah.
But McKay was particular, and the president that time, Moi, said, okay, because he saw potential even in the TVETs. He wanted that 844 system that would bring the art and craft, that would bring the music, the home science and all. But because money was not aligned there, they started easing off and removing those subjects. So finally, we ended up with what now many of the stakeholders are saying, that we are more theoretical in our orientation and in teaching and learning. But then now they're bringing the CBC to take us back to where we actually started with it. So in other words, when we do not plan ahead and actually do a diagnosis, why did 844 fail? If it failed that much, why did it fail? It's because we did not align our vision. We did not put our resources on funding to align with that vision. The first parameters that you must look at when you're doing a system change: how are the resources available to you, starting with the teachers? How are they being prepared to ensure that this system does not fail?
Boaz one would ask the question, right?
Yes.
There's also a conversation that is ongoing among our listeners who are online.
Yes.
That the 844, that towards the end of it, right?
Yes.
Is not the 844 that had been originally designed.
Yes, true.
Because 844 pretty much had everything else that CBC is bringing today. It is in the implementation of 844 that the country failed.
True.
That even now that you're going to CBC, it is something that was tried before.
Yes.
It's just failed in the implementation matrix of the same.
Yes.
So one asks the question then, did we need CBE? Or did we need to fix 844 to what it was designed to be?
Thank you. At the outset, actually, from our standpoint, from the research that Limubora did and what we were doing, and I think we were here and we called for the halting of that implementation
until
we fix. And because we wanted to fix what was ailing 844 at the time. But remember, Professor Magoa came on board and said the train had left the station. And because the train had left the station, all these other ideas which were coming were not accepted. Unfortunately, it's, I don't want to say we have many prophets in Kenya. And in fact, I don't even want to be called one because I know there are people who are abusing that also. But what the things which are now failing us as a system in the CBC are things which could be seen. And even right now, we are saying even in 2029, if we do not fix some of the things we are seeing, transition to the tertiary level, university and the TVETs would be a nightmare. But these things were never, these things were, we point them out because we do not do them abstract. We actually point them out because we base them on the research, we base them on analysis, and we use our documents and share with the executive, with the parliamentarians. Dennis, I will tell you that some of the leaders that we have are also part of the problem because they want to go for the shallow options. The question that are being asked now, did we have to jump? We already jumped and we really tried and said, please hold on. But nobody wanted to listen to that. Now that we have jumped, my mind is about these young people. You can imagine the generation that we are likely going to lose. So how do we fix it so that even with the problems they are facing, they are able to go through and come out with something? Because if you lose this generation, you are definitely going to have a problem. Just last year, August, we were in Parliament. Dennis, if you may remember, it is my team that was stood down by the parliamentary committee because of these questions we're asking. Unfortunately, the same report that we tabled with them, now they were using the report at Naivasha to ask the CS the same questions we were asking them. And they said we were not patriotic. That's what the term, the chair, Julius Melly, called us, that we do not appreciate some of the good things. And we told him, that a researcher and what work we do is not just to appreciate those good things. You can say them. The government has spokespeople and everybody who can say them. For us, it is to help you see that which you are not fixing and enable you to align the resources that you have to fix those problems. So this thing, I think, if it is a matter of leadership, I think I would call for the political goodwill to ensure that education is fixed once and for all. And we have a long-term planning, not just interim and haphazard, trial and error, here today, tomorrow, another thing crops up. No, we must have a long-term planning. And once we do that, we must also invest in the teacher. We develop them. We must invest in the infrastructure in all those schools. Selection process told us the children and the parents knew some schools which had nothing. They can't go there. Fix those there so that then we go ahead when all of us know we are going to get quality.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I want to hear from some of us, even the student as well. You could also tell us the experience you have in school as well as others who have not spoken here. So just stand and introduce yourself and your experience in school.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm Moses I'm in grade 10 in one of the schools here in Nairobi.
Right.
And one of the challenges we are facing is that when we joined the grade 10s, first we were taken through an orientation. We were told how to choose our pathways, if you want to change the pathway, the subject combination, so that in future you will not be confused on which career you wanted to take and you did not get there. So like us, we were taken through the orientation and some of our friends changed the pathways.
This was when you already came to school in January?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You will get like in grade 9, someone, my friend was in social science, but when he went there in grade 10, after being taken through the orientation, he came up with an idea and chose another pathway, which is a STEM. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Imito Diana. I'll speak as a parent and also as a teacher. You've made a comment about the selection of these schools. Honestly speaking, in my experience, what I saw on the ground is very different. You know, some parents were choosing the schools for their kids depending on the glory.
Okay.
You see, they see one school, I want this school, I want this school, see to school. And then, you know, parents desire the best for their kids, yeah? So, no parent would like their kid to go to a C4 school. They assume like the C4 schools are low or non-performing schools. So, most of the selection was based on the glory of some schools. So, at the end of it all, you find your kid is in C3, maybe you expected a C2. And then two, I'll comment on the financial burden on the parents. In truth, there is a burden on the parent based on the fee, and then the practical nature of this CBE makes the burden more on the parent. And then as a teacher, we have that tendency to not want change sometimes. So you find as a teacher, you're in class, but you find yourself going back to the 844 system. You know, the practical nature of this CBE wants the student to be hands-on. It is learner-centered. We experience some of the students who, I don't know, it is because they don't know what they were doing or the confusion in choosing the pathways, because you have given the students maybe something to do in groups. You just see that there is a problem somewhere. You end up going to the lecture method. In fact, you find yourself talking all through the lesson, guiding them, yeah?
Just hang on so that we can get what you're saying very clearly. What you have said, and please, if I'm wrong, please stop me, that these are grade 10s. You're not talking out of guessing. This is a grade 10 class, right, that you're teaching.
Yes.
Now, you have found that the students within this class, maybe, number one, you don't have the correct learning materials. Number two, you're not quite sure what direction you should be going. So in CBC, you are reverting to 844 currently.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
You find yourself, you have been forced to, yeah?
Okay.
You know, the students, first of all, are not understanding what they're doing. You are supposed to guide them. You ask them some questions, meaning they are supposed to work in groups. So there are some questions you are posing to them. It's like they are not even getting it. Huh? So as a teacher, you have to go back and take them through step to step. So utapata ni kama lesson nzima, ni wewe umeshinda tu tena hata unazungumza. And yet it's supposed to be
interactive, learner-centered, right?
My question then would be, Mwalimu.
Yes.
With the students that just came from grade 9,
yes,
from where you sit, are they ready? Are they fully prepared for grade 10? If you are giving them directions on what to do and they're not getting, is there a feeling that they are not ready, or where is the problem, and how are teachers trying to fix it other than going back to 844?
So in my own experience, this is what I feel. Huh?
Yes.
You know, there are some schools which are ready for these students, and I think they can offer the best to the students. And then, you know, across this selection, there is a tendency you find that some good students go to some specific schools, and then there are some schools you will end up with students who are weak. So for those schools, if they don't have the proper material, I'll feel that the students are being wasted. But if you find your student in a good school which has all the resources, then they're on the right track.
So
there's a component here. Dennis, there's a component that teacher Diana has mentioned.
Yeah.
A catch-up component, isn't it?
Yes.
That she's trying to do what should have been done in junior school.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Because she's trying to make these learners of grade 10 to understand certain basics, fundamentals. If they are in STEM, she assumed that at least certain things, you know, the definitions.
So sorry. But so essentially what we are saying here, if you're trying to help grade 10s to understand fundamentals, then there's a problem before that. So 7, 8, 9, there's a problem.
Let her explain.
Okay, please.
Yeah, I can relate to that. You know, I'm teaching
just raise your mic a little
physics,
bit.
yeah? So I'm teaching on pressure. In my own understanding, I feel like the students have already covered pressure in solids in grade 9.
Yes.
So I'm asking them, what is pressure? What is the formula for pressure in solids? Because the grade 10 is looking at pressure in liquids. They're just looking at me. They don't have any idea. So I have to go back to pressure in solids, which is in grade 9 under integrated science, I think.
That's a catch-up. Yes.
So what you're gathering is the junior school, kids who leave junior school to go to grade 10, there's a high possibility they've not been prepared enough for them to get to senior school.
Yes, very good.
No, Dennis, they're not prepared.
They're not prepared. Okay, they're not prepared. Remove enough. So, the second aspect of it is that I've picked from you is that if students will find themselves in what we consider to be good schools, they are good to go because these schools are prepared to have them, and a parent should relax, government should be easy because. But then this also brings the question of equality of education, especially under a system that categorization ought to have been removed. So we find ourselves today that we are categorizing schools against the initial requirements of CBE, and that today we also have grade 10s who are not ready for that class.
Yes.
Yes.
She's finished.
Can we just stay here just a little bit?
That teacher is, yes.
Because there seems to be a problem. Because if we look at now, how then, and in the selection, how are learners making a selection for a pathway where there's clearly a poor foundation in terms of understanding and knowledge? Because I would have assumed that this pathway selection, for what we've been told, and this is coming from ministry directly, P.S. Mudhoni told us this, that when these selections are happening, it is based on your skills, knowledge, understanding, and interest, right? So can you make a selection? You're telling us pressure in liquids. We don't understand pressure in solids. How are we moving forward?
As in?
Because from the selection, teachers were also supposed to be part of this process.
Yes.
In this selection. Would the teachers not know if a child, for example, doesn't have at least the very basic? Because from what I'm hearing you say, that's basic that we should know by now. By the time I'm teaching you solids, you should have understood liquids, right?
Yes.
Just as an example. Would the teacher, when the selection is being made, not know that this, because it takes a one-on-one also, not know that this child, for example, is not ready here? Perhaps this is not the selection that they should be making.
Now, it depends, yeah?
Okay.
You know, some of these students chose the pathways depending on what their parents wanted.
Okay.
That is one.
Okay.
And then two, in junior school there was this challenge of teachers. Ungeza pata mwalimu ni wa English na anafunza hata science. Kulikuwa na that complaint, ndio?
Yes. We discussed that here. You remember that?
Yeah.
Sasa unaona hangeweza jua kabisa kweli huyu mwanafunzi atakuwa vipi. Ama hata pengine wakati huo akifunza hizo vitu, ye mwenyewe pia alikuwa anajaribu tu kungangana nayo.
You know, there is...
Thank you, Dana.
No, thank you. What you said, Ndu. And then there is the aspect that, because if you read that, and parents have actually raised issues in terms of you're being overburdened because of being involved in all this, right?
Yes.
But now here we're getting a situation where perhaps even parents themselves were not aware what they were getting themselves into if then a parent would get in to choose a subject for a student.
God.
Parents understand the system. You wanted to speak.
Also, can we also hear from the gentleman at the back as well to hear, and also Mum here? We'd like to hear from both of them experiences.
Good morning. My name is Marube Daniel from Glorious Group of Schools, Mkurukwanjenga. Talking of the CBE, competence-based education, it is a real challenge to us teachers and even parents as well as students. So to start with, I want to start with the placement and even whatever the government did. I think there was poor planning towards this design. Because you find that there is a student who has been placed in a certain school, and this school is maybe a single school having only girls or boys, and you find that a girl student has been placed in that school. So that is a challenge, and then you find that this school again is a day school. Someone is living in Nairobi to Kisii, he or she doesn't have relatives there, and then the student is going to be a day scholar. So that one is a burden to parents. in terms of maybe accommodating the student wherever she is going or he is going. In school, I want to concur with what Madam Imito has said. From the word go, there is a problem coming from the junior school. These students are not well equipped to this or to attend the CBE in a senior school. A challenge is there from a junior school. They don't have the clear guideline on what they're going to do. Now, in terms of pathways, it's very, I don't know, is it interesting or discouraging? You find a student is in grade 10, and this student is not even able to read.
Read what?
Is not able to read even, he can't write, or she can't write even the name, the subject.
This is a grade 10
this
student.
This is a grade 10 student.
Who is 15 years old?
Yeah.
15? Yes. That's the age we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So when you tell me that cannot write their name, I don't understand what that means.
For example, I'm dictating, but we are not encouraged to dictate notes. We just write on the board. But there are those simple terms that you expect a student to have known there before.
Yeah.
But that one is a challenge to that kid.
And so this is something that a teacher would have known.
Yeah.
If we had this, what CBC encourages, one of the things that encourages is that there be knowledge of talent and skill in a learner by the teacher, because now you're almost dealing on a one-to-one, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Now you find that in a senior school, we have levels of teachers. So whoever is teaching, for example, I was teaching high school 844. I was not well conversant with the CBE. But the good thing they have done, they have brought a retooling. We went for a retooling for the same. But I feel like there are some teachers who never met this retooling. And that is a challenge to maybe the kids we are having as at now. Because a teacher doesn't know what exactly CBE entails, and he is expected, she's expected to stay with this kid and guide him or her.
But I'm sorry, but I have to ask this, and maybe this can come to the floor again. If a child, a learner at 15 years old, who is in high school, is unable to read and write, where is the failure? I won't even take it to ministry. Where is the failure? This child has been in, I've even forget what we call it, pre-primary for 2 years. Pre-primary 1, 2. By then, rote counting and rote learning has gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 years primary, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? I can't run over the. I mean, Abby, is it not true? That is what we expect.
Yes.
That when you say this is a dog, this is a cat, this is color yellow. Grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These students have gone through grade 7 now when they're doing 14 subjects, isn't it? Please stop me if I'm wrong. Yes. I have a grade 7er.
Yes.
They're now doing 14 subjects, right? Then we are saying that all the subjects in technical, which they are doing now,
the pre-technical
integrated science,
yes,
which has the agriculture, they're doing the languages, French, and then they're also doing English with composition. They're doing Kiswahili, Lugha, and all of this, and Insha, the history. They're doing all of this, and a child cannot read. Who are we asking why?
Good. We are asking a teacher. From the word down there, the foundation is wrong. The foundation is not stable.
Maybe if I may intervene, don't sit. I think you are affirming certain research findings that are now in public domain. Initially, the Uwezo used to do the assessments. Now there's Usawa Agenda doing these learning assessments. And I've just quickly skimmed through what they reported on last year. What you're saying speaks to that. Because they're saying there's a way in which some of our children are still just being taken through schools. And these are also examples of affirmation not being done. The fact of Kiswahili teacher taking the children through integrated science, pre-technology courses, and that's why then they end up in grade 10
and
completely
boss, they passed KPSEA.
They passed KPSEA.
For God's sake.
There are certain factors, I think, from the Usawa report, you'll find a number of the factors that were considered, like the class sizes in some cases, lack of the adequate number of teachers. Because class sizes, probably that's why the teacher would not be able to detect. If you are handling 100 in your class,
okay,
maybe some would pass through there without you realizing. But you see, the parameters that should have been dealt with so that the CBC delivers on that vision, including the teachers, you prepare them, but also numbers, you recruit them properly. You do not take all the terms like the junior schools who are in the streets demanding to be confirmed as permanent and punishable. You address those challenges so that then when they are getting to class, even with those numbers, at least they'll be able to know what is going on in class. They are not thinking of things outside. So these are indicators that we really we need to go back and address the concerns that the teachers raise, the numbers that are required, but also the preparedness right from home supporting some of these parents. Because even there, you'll have that, your CBC demands so much of them. And CBC actually gives a lot of these learners assignments to go and do back at home. But when they come back, what do? They are so busy. In fact, you load them. The parents here load them with a lot more of other work. So by the time they are going there, this young person is just being pushed left and right. And then they say, wacha tuende tu bora elimu, sio elimu bora. That happened. And that should not continue.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Now, before I take... Okay.
Maybe if we could conclude, because we
conclude
just...
and then we go to my sister here.
Yeah. So, following that keenly, if at all we are going to have these kids and we produce the best out of them, this CBC is only focused on learner-centered. That is what CBC is all about. Now, as if I want the learners to take part in this design, and then I'm just facilitating. I'm not even delivering the content. So I will fail some students there because they need me in details to explain maybe a certain content in details, but which CBC does not allow.
Okay.
So I agree with. If it's okay, 844 is better.
There's your solution. Go back to 844.
No, I'm not saying that 844. We go back to 844.
It's okay. It's a safe space. You can just say
is better as at now comparing to CBC, because if in 844 I could easily detect maybe a slow learner. The same way I can detect in CBE.
Yeah.
But you see, this one is now learner-centered. I'm not into students.
I'd like us to go here to my sister, but a quick question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have learner-centered learning in a class of 100? And what is the number that we're looking at in classes? 60, 70?
60, we should be having a ratio of 1 to 55.
Yes.
Yeah.
1 to 50.
But now we're having 60.
We are having 60, 80.
80 in a class.
Yeah.
So is it possible to have learner-centered learning, if you can use two words to describe one thing, in a class of 70 students?
That one can be achieved through group discussion.
Is it happening?
Yeah, it's happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go here. I would like to hear from you, Mom.
Habari za asubuhi.
Salama kabisa.
Salama sana.
Kwa majina naitwa Vini Kamora Ratemu, ni mzazi wa grade 10. Tumepitia a lot.
Okay.
Tumetama kina hii maisha ya CBC bado hatuchashikanisha vizuri kabisa. Kwanza mimi mwenyewe sielewi hii government ingefanya kitu mzuri, ama wakati tu ilianza kuleta hii program ya CBC ingeanzia na wazazi, tupeleke hata mahali tufunzwe, hata sisi wazazi tukue tunaenda kama ni evening lesson ya kufunzwa hii maneno iko aje. Juu sasa kama wakati wanaletewa hiyo wanapewa hiyo assignment wakuja tusaidiana na wao kwa nyumba. Sasa wewe ile masomo yako ya 844 ukimwekea na yeye yake unamchanganya. Kwanza mimi mostly ilikuwa simuwezi msaidia complete juu naona ananifunza chenye namfunza aelewi. Sasa yeye ndiye ananifunza, ananirekebisha vizuri mpaka anaona mimi ni mjinga kidogo, yeye ni mwelevu. Hii masomo imetuchanganya kabisa kwa ukweli. Government ingekuja na kitu mzuri venye nimesema, wazazi tufunzwe ndio tuelewe tunaelekesha hawa watoto wapi, ingekuwa mzuri. Juu tumekuwa first parents kwa kupeleka watoto hii junior ama senior. Imekuwa challenge sana.
Kweli.
Na wakati wao watoto walifanya exam, hiyo selection yenye walifanya, mtoto wangu aliitwa day school huko Kisii. Na points zenye alikuwa nazo sikuwa na expect kama ataitwa hiyo C4 school. Nilikuwa na expect ataitwa kama ni C3 ama C2. At least hizo points zilikuwa mweka hapo. Lakini time niliona ameitwa hapo nilishtuka. Nilishunda sasa nitaanzia wapi, na ni day school.
Aliitwa day school Kisii.
Hapa Nairobi. Na mimi naishi hapa Mkuru.
Okay.
Ikawa challenge sana kwa mtoto na pia mimi. Kitambo tusetu kujua tunampeleka wapi ilikuwa ni changamoto kubwa zaidi. Paka wa leo baada hatujalikava vizuri.
Selection challenges.
Okay. There was a response here?
To add on Mwalimu Diana, I think before even we talk about the senior schools, I think the emphasis should be on junior school, because that is where the all confusion is. And I think this is where the kids should be mentored. I think this is where the core, the transition from primary school to junior school. These are the science labs should be there. So ndipo at least hawa watoto wajue kwa hii miaka 3 ninapata basics za kufanya aviation, napata basics za kufanya power mechanics, napata basics za kufanya if she wants to be a nurse or a doctor, at least akikuja junior school she has a clear path. So I think kama change haitafanywa pale junior school, tutakuwa grade 10 tutakuwa tunachukua watoto ambao ni kama unamwambia just the same way you said, ini mto swim tuvuke tuende. I think and with this thing 100% transition, it is affecting a lot. So unapata hata walimu wa CBE hawapushi wale watoto. Because during our time ulikuwa unaogopa unasema if I fail nita repeat. Because this 100% transition unapata pia hata watoto hawana ile msukumo between themselves, among themselves. As much as unataka kutoa that exam oriented whatever, there's at least kuko na structure.
Okay.
Na hii structure yote formation ni pale junior school.
Okay.
At least hawa watoto wakiingia, let's tuone difference. Kama mimi ukiniuliza, mimi sioni difference ya primary school na hiyo junior secondary. I don't see it. Because the same subjects alikuwa nazo pale ndizo tu wana advance nazo. There's nothing unique. Alafu nakuja kuambia mtoto choose a pathway. Yet mtoto ni kama unamwambia choose between being a rider or a pilot, and hakuna kitu anaelewa. Mtoto haelewi subject combination. For me to be a pilot, what do I need?
What do I need to study hard?
For me to be a lawyer, what do I need? Yet unaambia mtoto make your subject, make your choice hapa. Ni ngumu sana.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Jason.
Let's get it back to you.
Yeah, but I think Wanyonyi was raising a hand at that time before you. Sorry. Yes.
Thank you so much for not taking note of that. Now, I was just trying to say something about what Madam was saying. You know, when you are a CBE teacher and you have, say, 100 learners or 70 learners in a room, you know, according to CBE, the teacher is not supposed to do a whole lesson talking. So what the government should do is to provide the resources. You see, that room where Madam was trying to teach and explain all through, most likely the children did not have textbooks. Most likely they did not have digital devices. They don't have computers or phones to use if they have been allowed. You know, if the children were provided with those resources, then they will do the discovery. They will do some research and then get into the discussion. But without the books, without the prompting devices, it becomes very difficult for a child to remind themselves or even to get into a discussion. So the government should just do standardization all over. Yes. Let them provide textbooks, digital devices, even if it can be done through learning resources. In total.
And in all schools.
In all schools. Actually, regardless of where the school is.
Thank you.
If I may elaborate further, you know, the president of the other week, when he was at Westlands, you know, the children were asked to speak, like the president of the school was asked to speak. And you see what the president of the school requests the president to do? To provide a laboratory. Yes. Another one asks for a school bus. Now, what the children in Westlands were saying is not a Westlands problem. Yes. That was a Kenyan problem. So the president, if I was to speak to him, if I were to speak to him, I would ask them and the policy makers to ensure that every school has a standard laboratory. Sure. They don't have to wait for the children to ask. You see, a standard bus, standard classrooms. Yesterday, the PS of Education was talking of whether they were contemplating whether to make Alliance have 5,000 learners. You know, that is impractical. You see, what we need is the government to create a starehe in Mukuru kwa Njenga. Yes. You see? Create a starehe in Makueni. Create alliance in Bondo. So that the child in Bondo sees their alliance in Bondo, well equipped. So that they don't have to go far. Even if we're talking about the day schools, the children refuse to go to day schools because they know those day schools.
Yes.
What should the government do? Build standard structures. Let these day schools appear like colleges, like standard, the state-of-the-art colleges. Then that child will be ready and willing to even boast of having gone to that day school because they know that it's a good school. Good buildings, good teachers, good laboratories. They have everything. Then they will not shy away from those C4 schools. They'll just go there.
Yeah, you know, one would actually say that instead of having alliance in Bondo, make all schools to be alliances. Yes. Because that then removes the categorization that we see. Because whichever you want to look at it, it's just a fancy word of C1, C2 is just national, provincial. It is just categorization that CBE was moving away from. But then again, one would look at it and ask the question, with everything that has been said in here, would you say that the country has it right when it comes to education? And if not, are we even trying to fix it?
Thank you. First, the good thing, we must all understand that we have a responsibility to fix this. And indeed, your team, the studio here, for always highlighting this. That really is paramount, because you've heard that even from the parents and the teachers, they are experiencing these things. So how they can articulate them, provide them. I like the aspect of randomly bringing this, because you see, I didn't even know I would be meeting with some of them here. But that is very pivotal. It is possible to fix this. I'm positive about it. I don't want to look at it like, oh, we are in a total mess, everything now cannot work and all. We can fix education, and we can fix it now without waiting for another day lost, another week lost, and another term lost. How we fix it is just being faithful to what experts and the consultations that have gone on have informed. Take the example you're saying, the categorization. We say that categorization has been a problem because we prioritize national schools and ignore the sub-county schools. We say do away with that and create standard schools. That would be even helpful for even the public servants who are being transferred left, right, and center. From Moyale, you're transferred to Busia, to wherever. You can imagine you're moving with your children. If the situation, the school, the standards are different there, you go there, you are actually hurting those learners. So
Sorry,
the aspect...
I know, you just hold on to the aspect,
okay,
because we can go into this. And if you look at foundational of this,
yes,
it may sound conspiratorial.
Yeah.
But are we not in a system that perhaps is designed to do the exact same things that we're complaining about today? Because how do you do the same thing over and over and over again? It's like people in a factory where you're packing juice. The machine is supposed to do that thing, that you come out of this conveyor belt whereby you release the bottle, you put the juice in, another part of it puts the cap, you keep moving, you put the label, you put it into the box, and you go. You're not going to get anything different but packet juice.
So it is, yes.
So if we are saying that there's a suppression of learning, if we are saying that teachers are only equipped so far, if we're saying that children in the system are not being made to be thinkers, they are doers. Dictation of notes, write it on the board, write it down. When it comes to an exam, everybody is dieting and stressed, is sweating so that we can pass the exam. Then you come out and you can't read. But what do you expect? What do you expect?
What did you
If what you put in is that which is going to be mediocre, I don't expect that you will get excellence at the end of the conveyor belt.
Garbage in.
So is it
And we do not
is it
want
by
this with our children.
design? Is it by design
Yes.
that this system then is supposed to bring out exactly what we're getting?
I would put it at the leadership aspect, policy and technical. Technical is good in Kenya. Let me tell you, our people in the ministries and our teachers are top, given that chance. Policy and the leadership at the top, political, that is where all the mess begin. And that is what must also be fixed. Why? Because if you think and reflect and allow these stakeholders to tell you that, okay, let us now jump into the CBC, and here you've hurriedly pushed them and they've accepted, now they are going in there. But then you don't give them the chance to create the institutions that would make that kind of learning to thrive. That would now force our teachers, like Diana is saying, that when you realize now the learners are not getting it, you relapse back to the lecture method that you are using to deliver. That is the beginning of failure. Let the leadership follow the tone of what they are saying. Let them talk and let them walk that talk. Because if we do not, we'll still not be having some of the schools being selected by the current grade 9 because they had not be prepared. We'll still be having that transition getting to grade 10 when the current Njiru and colleagues and their peers getting to grade 11, they are still struggling to get a balance of which is the true pathway, which is the course that I really want to go and do. We'll still be having those problems. If only the president would call, he normally calls prayer sessions, it's okay. But if he can call a truly reflective moment, whether it is in State House, not just holding those political rallies there, whether it is in whichever, KICC, KICD, all that, so that that kind of consultation distills how do we implement the recommendations, for instance, that Munavu came up with. How do we implement the recommendations that Professor Douglas Odhiambo, because I think Douglas Odhiambo for me, was more clear than Munavu. Douglas Odhiambo articulated what we should have been doing in terms of teacher preparation, in terms of how the infrastructure should be done, in terms of how you even involve participation of the parents. That is the awareness that you're talking about. So that as you are engaging from a point of knowledge, not just being brought in to count the numbers, that there was participation, but you are made aware. So that when you sit with your child down, unamsaidia kuangalia ama hata kufanya selection, wewe mwenyewe pia unaelewa. Si ati yeye ndiye anakufundisha mpaka amesema mtoto anaona wewe ni mjinga. Unajua ikifika hapo hata ile heshima inapotea. So let us respect ourselves and respect how we want our learners to go through. And I'm putting it at the doorstep of the president. The current president is William Samoei Arap Ruto. Let him seize this moment, because if we do not fix the challenges that are being talked about here, these learners will come out and feel like, oh, you abandoned us. Mtatuona. When they come of age, they'll be rebellious. They'll be so angry and so annoyed that they'll think you are actually the ones who made them fail. And indeed, you'll be part of the problem. So why don't we agree that all these things that we keep discussing, in whichever corner, they are harvested, they are used, they are applied and made to work. And also, if you find that you and your ministers and all those top leadership are not so keen on this, probably because their children are not in these schools, please toss them aside. Yes, have some of the guys who are sitting here to take charge so that you will be able to address these problems. For me, it is not good and it is not fair to have all the problems from primary, you put them in junior school. You do not fix anything. You are transferring them to senior school, grade 10. You are forcing now the teachers to do a catch-up, trying to go back and see where should they have started from. 3 years. And here in senior school, they have only 3 years. They have only 3 years to transition to university. We are going to have a big problem. Let that fixing start immediately now. And I think, Jason, you are very clear on where should be the fulcrum. The physicists, the physics teachers would understand it. I mean, where is the turning point? Where is the main where is the main pillar is? In CBC, I see it as that junior school. I see junior school as being pivotal if the vision that they sold is right. Because it's at that junior school is where, after primary, this self-discovery should be taking place. That beginning of what you're calling competency should start being built in a significant way. Unfortunately, in most of those junior schools, the parameters that would enable them to build those competencies are not yet there. That is why they come to grade 10 struggling. So can we agree that even at that junior school right now, people think it has been fixed? No, the teacher issues have not been fixed. Infrastructure has not been fixed. Learning tools and materials there have not been fixed. Even the parental involvement in an informed manner has not been addressed. Can we have that fixed? It can be fixed.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.